Each week, we welcome to our NfG stage one of our highly talented members or special guests with something designed to help you and your business. This week's speaker isn't going in circles, he's going in spirals. And like a winding staircase, he's worked hard with each upward step with a variety of careers where he has taken the experience from one to another, and so on, before returning to two of his earlier careers with a new level of skill and understanding. Using his academic and career experience in dietetics with nursing homes, auditing and compliance, presenting and training, he's helped various care homes, for example, save tens of thousands or more each year on their catering overheads alone, while radically improving the quality of food for those in care. Seeing that nutrition is just one part of running an efficient care home, he's looked at other ways to revolutionize the care sector, encouraging people to find ways to supply what they do with quality and cost effectiveness, leading to the foundation of the Care Connector, a wonderful social enterprise that has led to him creating some amazing partnerships with a range of sponsors and a number of big players in that space. Always working hard to get that message out there, he's always keen to hone his skills and was recently awarded the position of Vice President of a Public Speakers Association at his home turf in Western Scotland. Today, we give him he will give us rather a presentation on something dear to all of our hearts: networking, collaboration, and community. And with that, we welcome to the stage Iain Clague. Good morning, Iain.
Thank you very much, Richard, for that. And just as a by the by, it's the whole of the Scottish region, not just the west of Scotland. But yeah, so thanks very much, everyone, for coming along today. And I hope you get some stuff out of this. Hopefully I won't cough and splutter too much through this, because I'm just getting over COVID. This is me back this week after spending from New Year's Eve until last week in bed. So hopefully we'll get through it and my throat won't dry up. So networking, collaboration and community. Why should we be networking? Why should we form collaborations, and why does that bring us into a community? So when we're looking at networking, most people think of networking when they first start going networking, more so in the old school, when we used to rock up at events, like I did when I first started doing business back in 2009. I used to go to every networking event that was out there in Glasgow, because obviously it was all face-to-face at the time. And it was really weird because everybody would go from one networking event to the next networking event, and everyone would just follow each other to the new venue. And so it got to a point where I started thinking to myself around the networking side of things, is this actually getting me anywhere? And I also went in with the premise of, I'm going to go in and sell what I do because everyone needs what I've got. And then I realized that everyone else was trying to sell to me as well. And it was usually things people like printers. And the amount of printers that used to come to networking events was unbelievable. All trying to sell you printing and things of that sort of ilk. It was all about business growth, but not actually, it was to grow their business rather than to grow your business. And then over the years, the way that my brain works, as most of you all know that have been to any of the neurodiversity networking stuff before, I'm dyslexic and I've got ADHD as well. So I start looking at what's going on and how can we change things for the better. And I see the bigger picture really quickly. Okay, so just give us 1 second. I'm going to turn off the chat because Richard is typing, and with my dyslexia, it puts me off. So when we're talking about networking, this is about where you let people know how what you do and then how you can help them to get business. That's the way I look at networking now. I tell people what I do. If they want what I've got, great, even better. However, it's more to find out where I can help other people that are in my networks to get business. Right? One of my members who joined on a Tuesday morning came in, spoke to me, had a meeting, she joined. It was like, yay, £20 a month, great. In the afternoon, I had another conversation with somebody who works in the care sector. And I went, oh, those two need to talk to each other. So I introduced them. She's got a contract that day, not signed. The contract has now been signed, but she got a contract that day to deliver activities for a care group. People go, well, that's great. You know, a couple of £1,000. No, it was for 4 seasons, 163 care homes. And she's paying me £20 a month. So I think she's got a better deal out of it than I have. But the whole point is that's what I like doing. I like to help people. I like to help people to actually progress and introduce. That's why I set up the network. So what types of networking have we got? Well, we have 2 types, don't we? We've got in the room, which we're allowed to do now. For how much longer, I don't know. Before it all reverts back to being online. Okay. And as I say, you need to pick where you're going to. You need to think strategically about what you're doing. There are so many networks out there, right? Where is your fit? Where are the people that you want to be speaking to going? Where are the people that you want to connect with and collaborate with going to be? Right? And then think about what you've got out there, you know, and what you offer and what other people offer as well, so that you can form that collaboration. We're going to talk a bit more about collaboration in a minute. But from a networking point of view, you want to be looking at, where can I help somebody else? Now, we're not talking about BNI stuff here where you get into a network and then have to help people constantly or you get badgered. You should be doing it from your own sense of well-being and your own sense of networking for good, right? You're all here because you've all got the same sort of morals and values, right? We like to help people, right? It's the same with the Care Connect network. It's about people helping people. So find where you need to be able to go in and fit and who you need to be speaking to, right? Unless you are someone like me who runs a network, you shouldn't be just trying to get everybody. Focus down, and when you go into that room, whether it be in the room or on Zoom, make sure that you're reacting to that group of people. That is a key part of networking. The people in the room, what are their baseline, right? If it's women in business, then that's what you should be focused on, wherever your offer is. If it is a care one, then that's where we're looking at, talking about things around the care sector. So you can shift what your message is, but within what you do. Does that make sense? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Have you all got a pen and a piece of paper? Excellent. Right. You're going to talk about these more afterwards once we go into the breakout rooms. But where do I do my networking right now? Write down where you network. Okay. And then do you actually see networking as an important part of your business? And do you use it as an important part of your business? Or is it just something you come and get involved in because you're self-employed and you're lonely? So you want to come and talk to people. And then, as I was just saying there, how do you identify and target the right people and groups to network with? As I was saying, unless you're someone like myself who runs a network, you should be looking at certain niches within what you do. I say when I go and people go, who are you looking for? Well, everyone. I've had 5 people tell me that they don't fit into the network for the care sector. One of them was a LinkedIn expert. And I'm like, well, I've got 1,700 care managers and owners on LinkedIn. Do you not think they want to speak to you? So come up with a plan of who it is you want to speak to. Richard. Come up with a plan of who you want to speak to, and then where you're going to go from that. Okay, we're going to talk about those more in your groups afterwards, about what you're going to do more, less, or differently after you've been listening to this. Now, collaboration. Do you collaborate with other people in your network? Do you look at who is in your network and go, actually, we've got a good synergy. What I offer and what you offer could be good, because you are going to be going into areas that I put stuff, and I'm going to be going into areas that you put stuff. Right? If I was doing my hospitality stuff, which I've not been doing for a while, but my background, as Richard said, is in catering, I would be going, right, let's link up with Neil, because he's got an app and he's going to be putting that into places. And if he sees that they're struggling, if the manager says, oh, we're really struggling with such and such with feedback and all this sort of stuff, he can turn around and go, I know a guy that could probably help you with that, actually. He does catering management and leadership. Then we've got a synergy, right? People that connect just to connect are not going to get very far. How many of you got connections on LinkedIn that you never engage with? Right? I have, right? On a one-to-one basis, I have got people in my network that I never engage with. Right? I was looking back through it. I think it was last October, not last October, sorry, the October before. And I did a cull of people in my network. And I'm going, why am I connected to this person? Right? So now all my connections are around care or friends that I've met on other things like this. But when someone sends me a random request now, there's no point, because we want to collaborate with people. And that's what I was saying about the collaboration side of things, or the introductory side of things. Look at who you can collaborate with within those networking areas. Right? Because that is what is going to get you more business. The amount of collaborations I have done over the past, 12 months now has been massive. I've collaborated with the Care Roadshows. We now host all the networking events at the Care Roadshows. There's 5 of them across the UK, right? For a stand, it's usually 1,800 quid. I've got a whole area for free, because I do stuff for them. I share everything out. I talk about the Care Roadshow. I get people to come to the Care Roadshow. So people are coming to the Care Roadshows because of what I'm saying And it's not costing me anything to be able to get in there and actually let people know what I do. We've collaborated with the Care Workers Charity so that we can help support them. But it's not altruistic, because now I've collaborated with the Care Worker Charity. If we're running an event, which we're going to be running, hopefully one in May, and doing a golf day, it's going to be under the Care Connector banner that is going to be giving money to the Care Workers Charity. Doesn't make me a bad person that I'm doing it that way, because they're still getting the money, but I'm also getting the exposure as well. Right? There's lots and lots of ones that are coming on. I'm now through another network that I'm in. I'm off to Lanzarote at the end of February to do some training with someone who provides holidays for people with disability. That would never have come about if it hadn't been for me networking and collaborating with other people. So here's another 3 questions for you. What are some of the key characteristics or qualifications that you look for in someone to collaborate with? What are you looking for? How do you determine if a collaboration will be beneficial for your clients? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about being able to provide more for your clients and giving them a better service by going, do you know what? I can see you've got a problem with that. I know a guy that does that, or I know a lady that does that, or I know someone that does that. You can then help them to be more successful. And then if you put down something, and this is what you can discuss in your breakout rooms and stuff, share an example of successful collaborations you've had in the past. If you have. If you haven't, then fine. But then once you've done all that, and you've collaborated with people and you go networking and you start to form little groups and stuff like that, that's when you start to build a community. And you start to build a community of people that are on the same page, that are after the same thing, that are looking to work and improve people's lives in that area. I started off with my Care Connector network. I set it up in May 2020, right at the height of the pandemic, because I saw on Care Manager Facebook pages that everyone was asking questions. However, because it's one of these groups where you can't advertise what you do, everyone would get slated if you say, I can help with that. So I went and set it up. It wasn't called the Care Connector Network at the time. It was my dyslexic brain, word for word, of exactly what it was. I think it was something like, for those who supply products and services to those that procure them within the care sector. That was the name of the Facebook group. Luckily, it became the Care Connect Network because it's a little bit easier to remember and to say. But I started off in that group with 45 people. I've now got, in that Facebook group, just over 600. I've now got on my Mighty Network just under 600. And I've got just over 500 on my LinkedIn Care Connector page. Now, some of them are crossovers and stuff like that. But I would say that I'm probably sitting just under 1,000 people, if not 1,000 people now, that I have built into a community of people that are all working towards the same thing. to improve the care sector. And we're all in it for the same thing, to improve the care sector. So I've now got a community of people, not just a bunch of randoms that turn up.